Hi everyone, I'm doing these short videos on mental health issues. In my last video, I showed how to overcome fear through faith and how to cultivate the faith step by surrendering every anxious thought into the hands of God. It is not possible to just practice faith just like that. It's very tough. So, one of the things we can do is every anxious thought before it becomes real in your mind and goes on into loops to place it in the hands of God so that your anxious thoughts is dealt with. So, the fundamental principle that I said was transference of responsibility. Sometimes it becomes difficult to practice transference of responsibility because when an anxious thought comes, the body quickly reacts to the anxious thoughts and brings about a series of uncomfortable emotions that a person gets stuck into those emotions and is unable to practice transference of responsibility. In this video, I will discuss how to reduce anxious responses. In a person who's anxious, the impulsive part of the brain is more active than the rational part of the brain. This is because an anxious person perceives danger in everything. He's fearful of everything. So the impulsive part of the brain is always active and is wondering where is the attack going to come from. So how do we suppress the impulsive part of the brain and encourage the rational part of the brain to become more active? The technique that is most commonly used is focused breathing. In focused breathing, you breathe deeply and exhale. And when you are breathing deeply and exhaling, you focus on your breath or on God. I would prefer to focus on God. So you can focus on your breath also. So you will continuously focus on your breath as you breathe in and breathe out. During this process, you will have lots of unnecessary thoughts coming in, and you have to try to ignore those unnecessary thoughts and focus on your deep breathing. Obviously you cannot do this exercise when you are right in the middle of a anxious attack or a panic attack. You should do this exercise when you're more relaxed comparatively, so that when you have an anxiety attack or when you are generally more anxious, you will be able to practice the transference of responsibility, and your rational brain will cooperate and your impulsive brain will not fire its responses quickly. When you do the focused breathing exercise few times a day, what you're doing is encouraging the rational part of the brain to overtake the impulsive part of the brain. And gradually, as time goes by, your anxious responses will be slowed. So it will give you a small time frame to practice transference of responsibility. Transference of responsibility is the fundamental principle because you're going to transfer the thought from your hands into the hands of God. Without transferring the responsibility, there's always an open loop where the thought has not been dealt with and it will stay in the back of your mind. Our mind always wants a resolution to every problem, and there are some problems where there is no resolution. So, the transference of responsibility from your hand to the hands of God is the fundamental way to deal with anxiety issues. However, in order to enable this transference of responsibility, focused deep breathing helps you to activate the rational part of your brain and overtake the anxious part of the brain. And as you know, the Bible tells us to cast all our burdens on God. So it's nothing wrong into transferring all your problems into the hands of God. And that is the key principle in which we handle all problems in life, leave alone anxiety. And if any time when you're doing this and you have a thought, no, God doesn't love you, or something like you are not good enough for God, remember Jesus died on the cross for us and is willing to forgive all our sins. So let no thought come and tell you that you are not eligible enough to transfer the responsibility into the hands of God. However flawed you are, God accepts you as you are. You come to God not because you're perfect, because you want to be perfect. And as an anxious person, as I struggled with my anxiety disorder, not only I found relief for my anxiety disorder, I also found God. And I hope you will also find it. If you find these videos useful, please subscribe. God bless.